let's meet tomorrow, okay, Erin? 4 o'clock?
I'll see you then.
Rose, hey, I was just reading about dreams. Apparently you can't read in them because you use a different half of your brain.
Yeah, I knew that.
Alright, did you find what that thing is?
David, this is a memory ray. It tampers with what we remember.
Really?
Yes, it can erase memories, write new ones, and restore ones that have been erased. It came from an alien planet. Imagine being able to remember everything you've ever forgotten.
Wow, that seems like it'd be really useful. Why do you seem so upset?
You must have wiped your own memory.
I'm a little lost.
Either that or you really are a bastard.
Oh my god. I killed a man. That robot. But at least... Rose.
Don't call me that! I am Rosette de Dela, not Rose Day. I was born on Geolaven, not in Salem. I grew up in a desert, not an orphanage.
You weren't supposed to...
I am a freedom warrior, not a librarian. I made this memory ray. I made so many things. Took so many lives. All for a fight bigger than me.
Rosette, I just...
What? What did you want when you stole my identity from me and gave me the one you liked? The life I knew a day ago was created by you.
I just didn't want you to worry that you might die at any day.
You took my free will, David. I told you that I wanted to face my punishment. I told you not to endanger your world, but you did it anyway after I lost consciousness.
Rose, I need you.
Shut up. You're just like Cathalon. I'm not here to be your manic pixie dream girl. I'm not a cartoon that you can just watch whenever you're feeling uneasy. I can't be in more than one place at a time.
I'm so sorry.
David, you took me away from my home for 3 years, having me read books I could have read when I was 10. You took me here to be your playmate while the rest of the universe is falling under the tyranny of a dark god.
I'm an idiot.
No, you're a selfish kid. These worlds don't revolve around you. I'm going back to space, David. Don't speak to me anymore.
Everyone wants me to do it? Fine. Batman Beyond. What the hell is there to say about this series? We got Terry McGinnis, a kid, to be Batman. It sounds so lame, and sometimes it kinda is. I need to calm down. I'll be right back. Okay, better. Batman in the cyberpunk future where his old villains are gone and Gotham is now a technological wonderland but still somehow full of crime. In our case, the youth is constantly on something or another that represents drugs. Bruce Wayne is now an old man. The mask that was the billionaire playboy is gone, and now he behaves like Batman all the time. But he is too weak to do what he once did. So he is passing on his title to a random street kid. Batman Beyond was the first attempt for DCAU to try a completely new setting. They had already reinvented old characters like Mr. Freeze and Brainiac, but now this was their first attempt to modernize an old hero by treading familiar territory on Batman passing on his mantle, while also creating a new set of characters, including an almost completely new rogues gallery. This thing is one of the biggest creative steps in the comic book adaptation series. Batman Beyond remains riskier than anything the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done, except maybe Iron Man 3, but you know, Iron Man 3 kinda sucked compared to the other films there, so how successful was Batman Beyond? Pretty successful, honestly. Unfortunately for me, I had a lot of trouble getting by the opening of this series. Something about the way Terry Batman just poses and the early CG just turned me off, like, that stupid screeching guitar, like, Terry also starts off the series a bit like Spider-Man. He leaves his father alone, in this case his literal father after having a fight with him, and then Dad gets killed by evil CEO Derek Powers. The first season actually has this issue. There's too much plot. No, really. The plot in the first season of Beyond moves so fast. Oh my god, I just said fasts. I have a feeling this is where the idea to break Justice League into 2 parts came from. Like, let's take the Mr. Freeze episode. Let me list out all the plot points. Batman stops a villain, Derek Powers, smuggling, and the dude gets mad, and all that fake skin comes off. Oh yeah, Derek Powers? Derek Powers is actually a radioactive skeleton man named Blight, after the first episode. I guess I was supposed to talk about the pilot. So his fake skin comes off. Sarah Connor comes to tell him they can clone him a body! They tried on Mr. Freeze. Batman tells Terry to stalk Mr. Freeze, and during which someone who he hurt in the past is like, I'm gonna kill you. And Batman stops that, but then Mr. Freeze is like, hey, I forgive you, and I'm gonna make a charity to help everyone who I had hurt with the money I stole. And then his body's like, hey, it's getting hot in here. I think I'm dying. And then Sarah's like, shoot, he's regressing. We're gonna kill him. We're gonna take his organs. And he's like, wow, everyone betray me. I fed up with this world. And then he throws a desk and then becomes Mr. Freeze again with his new armor suit. And he's trying to kill everyone. And then Blight shows himself and he owns Freeze. Batman fights Blight and Freeze blasts him away. And then Freeze dies. See, there's a lot of plot points here, and this is one of my favorite stories in this whole continuity, but really, it could have been explored for longer. We could have been left in more suspense about all this. The first, 60% of the episode before the last action scene played is more like a montage and less like an episode in a series. One thing that's kind of amusing to me is that no one calls Terry's Batman Batman 2. They just call him Batman, which is fine. One of the major themes of the series is the passing on of the mantle, that Batman is just a symbol. Many of the criminals Terry fights never even faced Batman 1. However, even people who have encountered Batman 1, like King of the Royal Flush Gang, they treat killing Batman 2 as unfinished business with Batman 1. Does the guy literally think those two guys with completely different body builds and personalities are the same guy? I mean, we know that Bruce is the mission control, but King doesn't. What a stupid bastard! Dude will probably die from shooting himself on accident. Normally this is the part of the review where I recount the story arc and react to all the plot points in order to pad the thing out, but Batman Beyond for some reason has no story arcs, so instead I'll look at other things. They do have recurring plots though. One of them is Terry's love interest. Yeah, the main one is Dana. Thing is, she is how do you say it? Bland? Extremely bland. Most featureless yet somehow most featured love interest in all of fiction bland. That's why when we were introduced to Melanie Walker, part of the Royal Flush Gang, it was a nice change in pace, and I like blondes. Oh shoot. I mean, if you think about it, they don't have much in common besides the fact that they're hiding things, and yet, when him and his girlfriend fight, Terry doesn't break up with her, instead he hooks up with Melanie. I mean, I probably would too, but obviously I've never had two women available for me at the same time. It's one of these things where you grade on a huge curve because Terry has nothing meaningful with either woman, but one has more conflict with him, so it's a lot more fun to watch. And I know it's too much to ask for good romantic writing in Batman, but I'm angry, so I'm gonna complain about it. Sucks that it goes nowhere, but hey, affairs are fun. I wouldn't know, I've never been part of one, but still. One of Batman Beyond's big weak points was it's a gallery. The Rogue Gallery. Not just a gallery. There's a lack of memorable villains. Let's see, who do we got? We got Blight, Ink, Mr. Freeze, Royal Flush Gang, and there's not a lot more. Blight had a memorable design, seemed dangerous enough, but he was removed after the first season because it turns out this villain is an idiot. This guy who killed Terry's father was tailor-made to be Terry's arch nemesis.
Who are you? You killed my father. Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down?
And they prevented that from happening. It felt like a bad move. Ink was cool. She had a unique fighting style and a memorable design. In her first appearance, she tried to drown Terry Batman with her mouth, with her body, through his mouth, like Super Boo. And my immediate question was, why does the suit have an open mouth? But really, Ink is quite threatening and Terry needs someone to bail him out when Ink is around. It's pretty cool that they kept that consistent. The Royal Flush Gang were only interesting because they were always the antagonists of these Melanie episodes. They were the ones keeping her in the life of crime. Oh, and King is voiced by George Lazenby.
Wait, for what? Check! Ace!
Let's see, other villains. One of them was Dr. Cuvier. He spliced animals into himself and became the Chimera, and in the end, Batman killed him as he got Cronenberged. That's cool. I guess he wasn't even a human by then, so you can give Terry a pass on a technicality, but this Batman has killed someone. There was Spellbinder in a few episodes. One of the good ones is Terry's friend, Max, got damseled. And then she got addicted to an illusion of a world where things are how she wants them. It's one of those drug metaphors. There was an episode where a dude got exposed to radiation and he managed to be able to manipulate Earth somehow. And the dude, he didn't look good. Oh, I forgot. There's Matt Stan. He's awesome because he rants.
You're just contributing to the problem, man. You're all infected with the disease of bureaucracy, but I know the cure, man. All of you must be destroyed.
Just another victim of an uncaring society.
Information overload, man. As a society, we're drowning in a quagmire of vid clips, email, and sound bites. We can't absorb it all. There's only one sane solution. Blow it up!
So, like, I complain a lot because I'm me, but what does this series do well? Well, mainly transitioning from Batman 1 to Batman 2. I mean, we really need a reason to believe why Bruce would give up Batman and why Terry is a worthy successor. Bruce Wayne is what keeps this interesting. It is the really sad end to the character from the animated series. I mean, we see Commissioner Barbara Gordon pretty often, but where the two series really meet is Return of the Joker, the movie, where the hero is both Bruce and Terry instead of just Terry in the main series. Joker, cheated death, he tore the Bat family apart, and is a major reason why Bruce can't have any good relationship with any of his proteges.
I guess on a personal level, it's a chance to look like a worthwhile human being again. In my eyes, if no one else's. It's what I want, Bruce.
Stupid kid. You don't know what you want. None of you ever did.
The last straw that pushes Bruce down from being happy. And yet, Joker coming back and meeting Terry ultimately leads to surprises for him, too. This is the point where Terry establishes himself as a good possible successor to Batman, taunting the Joker. Very different from Bruce's approach where Justice Fist do the talking. Terry beat the old arch-nemesis, and he did it his way without being Bruce.
You're not Batman!
After you see how Joker went down at the end of Batman's adventures, the intro where Batman had to grab a gun to force himself into requirement becomes a lot more meaningful. Oh my god, I just said requirement, not retirement. This carries into Justice League as well. See, Bruce Wayne is alone, like me. I guess he has a dog, I have a cat. Terry has a lot of people who love him that he will not push away, even when it seems like it'd be easy. That's what all the episodes with Melanie are about. Are you gonna push away the people who care about you just because they don't fully understand you? No. That's stupid. But that's what Bruce Wayne did because he's insane. I forgot where I was going with this, but basically, as they built their world, the man known as Batman is not a clone. I mean, Terry is kind of a clone, but anyway, he doesn't act like one. The original series did not have something that resembles a finale, because, kind of like Superman the animated series, it was cancelled in favor of working on Justice League. It had a nice episode where Terry did something Bruce would never do, take off his mask so he could get a kid to trust him. It almost pretends to be a finale, like with his identity falling into the wrong hands, someone who's not Max, but it's not. It's just a normal episode. Though, if there's a scene where Terry discusses his identity with Dana at the end of the series, that would have been nice. Maybe help iron out Dana's character since she's mad and it makes sense instead of it happening off-screen between time skips. Oh yeah, time skips. Alright, let's talk about Epilogue. In my Justice League review, I held off about talking about this, but now I'm gonna do it. Alright, remember Amanda Waller? She's the black lady, she represents the government. Remember all those idealist clashes she had with Batman about the very undemocratic approach she had to the Justice League, but it was still reasonable because the Justice League answered to no one? Alright, cool. Basically, Waller tried to create more Batman in the future, which involved using Bruce's DNA and shooting the Batchild's parents. But no, it wasn't humane, so the assassin didn't go through with it.
My point is, I just found out that Warren McGinnis isn't my father. You are.
Waller convinces adult Terry that Bruce is an admirable guy by telling a story about how he wouldn't kill Ace, since he will never harm a child. And he waited with her as she died. This episode manages to both connect and disconnect Terry and Bruce. Terry tries a lot harder to do kind things just because he's capable of it, and his past as a delinquent helps him with that. But Waller says, Bruce is like that too. He's more human than he acts, you know? So, why is it such a good finale to DCAU? Well, Epilogue tries very hard to sell us that big question. Is Terry a worthy successor to Bruce? And we can't really judge that from when he's a teenager because at no point in the main series does he really become Batman. But we were always kind of hoping he'd get there. Now that he's here, he doesn't really want to be. In a way that reflects the issues that Batman's always had with his previous people. They flake on him because he expects a lifelong commitment to stopping crime without considering they don't have the same past as him. That's why Waller wanted to get the Phantasm to axe the parents. And yet, she didn't want to create the same miserable guy that she's already known. But Bruce is getting what seems to be a happy ending. He has a son that doesn't dislike him, that is worthy to carry on his legacy, And you'll probably see a grandchild soon. Did I mention Terry was going to propose to Dana? I must have forgotten because she was so boring. Man, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Is this really what I want to do? Just talk about shows that have been gone for 15 years? I don't have any friends, I don't have any success, I haven't worked a job. What's my use to anyone? And like, no one even really likes me anyway. You know what? I quit. Fuck this.
Hey, Wayne. I'm sorry about snapping at you. I really appreciate what you did for me. You really care about me, don't you? I love you, Wayne.
Rose, I don't fully understand. You were so mad a few hours ago.
I just thought about it. I decided that being with you really was more important than the freedom of other worlds.
Really? This can't be real. You can't be real. This has to be a dream.
Oh, Watcher. Just because it's a dream doesn't mean it's not real.
Oh, you're behind this. Don't you have an empire to rule?
I find it amusing you don't believe I can be in two places at once. Or far more.
What the fuck are you on about?
It doesn't matter. I have already won.
You... won?
It's been 3 Earth years since you've seen me. Enough time to defeat every planet worth a conquest. It's become clear that none of these creatures could challenge even a fraction of my might.
So, you divided up your body, and you've taken over the universe. So, what the hell am I to you?
You're a test subject, chosen at random among millions of others. Now that the universe has been pacified, we are in the age of knowledge.
So, I'm in a world that gives me everything I want.
Yes, everything you want.
So, it's like a dream paradise.
Not quite. The dream was just a gateway I used. Everyone here is very much real. Your mind is projected into another you from a timeline where you matter.
Wait, you've discovered alternate timelines?
Here, you are as important as you ever wanted to be. So sit back and enjoy the ride.